All right, it's 4 o'clock, so we're gonna get started. So, go ahead and turn off your phones so that we're gonna get started. Um, well, let me actually sit down like this so I can talk to you guys. First of all, my name is Manoj Patil. I'm the owner president of New Horizon. I'm also president at a college near Sioux City. So I'm manage this company and so I have no life. So somehow managing. This is our 15th year of doing the ACT prep classes. We had more than 6,000 students across United States. We reached 22 states, students from 22 states right now. So um, again, we don't have much time to discuss this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you your name, and you just tell me where you're from. Okay, that's all I need. And you know what? 11, what grade you're in? Okay. Well, I don't see well. Okay. Vincent?
Vincent Kelling. I'm from Kingsley and I'm a junior.
So, Kingsley, Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ariana?
Um, I'm Ariana. I'm from North Sioux City, and I'm junior.
Not Sioux City and junior. Okay. Jade?
My name's Jade. I'm from like the Sioux City area, and I'm a junior.
So, juniors. Okay. Elijah?
Hi, I'm Elijah. I'm a junior and I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And Elijah was in our regular group in fall semester, so he's moving on to advanced. Nick?
I'm Nick. I'm a junior, and I'm from North Sioux City, South Dakota.
Okay. Brady?
I'm Brady. I'm a junior. I'm from Ponca, Nebraska.
So we have Ponca, Kingsley, Sioux Falls. Okay. Kiera?
I'm Kara. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I'm a sophomore.
Okay. Lila? I don't see her. She's from Omaha. Neelan?
I'm Neelan. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm in 8th grade.
Okay, so he's in Cincinnati. JC? Okay. Blake?
I'm Blake. I'm a junior and I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And we have Preston.
I'm Preston. I'm from junior. I'm from North Sioux City.
Okay. So we have some North Sioux cities. So we have somebody far away from Iowa, Cincinnati as well. So, all right. So go ahead and get your graphing calculators. We are going to get to pre-calc stuff right away. So in your packets, you should have a math packet that was given to you. Like it's a spiral. We don't have it for you. We'll get it for you. Do you have that? Spiral bound? Yep. This is the one. Okay. Open page 4 of the math packet. And you guys may have to share it. Okay. All right. Page 4 of the math packet and read through page 4. And again, many of your juniors here, we have, of course, 1 or 8, 9 grades and stuff, but we're going to get into full roll today, okay?
Manoj, do we have that online?
No. Was it sent with you in the packet, Blake? It should be in your blue bag.
Is that coming in the mail?
Yeah, yeah. Did you get any of the books so far?
No, not yet.
Okay, it's with it. So you may have to just hang in there, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. So today is the first day of the real class. Last week was just more for introduction. So a few things I need to talk to you before we get in full swing. First, I hope you watch the parents' video as well. Okay. It was on the WhatsApp group. If you have not watched it, watch it. Okay. It'll give a pretty good idea what my expectations will be. Second, I'll be posting the homework sheets today. Okay. Yes, some of you still did registration late. They don't have the books. It's okay. That's why we actually delayed it starting this week. But once the homework is posted, start working on it. Third, when I teach the class, your job is not to just write things on here, okay? Your job is to learn things here. And that happens only when you ask questions, okay? This is an American college test, ACT, not an American high school test, okay? And I don't care what has happened in school. It's not my job. My job is to train you to the best of my ability. And your job is to learn to the best of your ability. And that can only happen if you have intent to learn, okay? If you're here going through some motion for 2 hours, you're wasting your time, you're wasting my time as well, okay? I'm a college president. We don't have time. We mean business. And my business is to teach you guys. And your job is to learn every ounce of the material. And how you learn it is by asking questions when you don't understand. During COVID, we had pretty weak time in terms of students having no interaction and stuff like that. I'm seeing last fall things started to improve as well. Things are becoming, I feel, more normal than ever before. So I want to have fun, but I want you to learn. Sounds good? There are things you will not know. I will tell you right now. Don't panic, okay? That's why you're here, to learn those things. Sounds good? But when you go home, relearn those material. It's not like, oh, you did Sunday, and next Sunday nothing happens. Then it's just waste of time again. Your job is to learn, so when you go to freshman college, you don't suffer like majority of the students are suffering. 1 in 2 students are struggling in college right now. 1 in 2. And I don't want you to be that 1 in 2. I want you to be the other 1 in 2 who doesn't struggle. Sounds good? Fair enough? With that, you have the notebook. Problem number 1, okay? I'm gonna write the problem, give you some time, have fun with it. If you don't know, so be it. First question. So you have a right angle triangle. So we're gonna start with pre-calc trig stuff, okay? So this is theta, this is angle alpha. And again, it's okay not to know things, okay? This is A, B. All right, here's your first part of the question. In terms of A and B, what should be the hypotenuse? Anybody? And if it's wrong, nobody cares, okay? I don't care, but I like when you at least attempt. Yes? Yes. So what's the value of the hypotenuse in terms of A and B then?
The square root of a squared plus b squared.
Square root of a squared plus b squared. You guys know that, right? Pythagorean theorem, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Sometimes in ACT this may be given, this may not be given. So you should be able to determine that. So your first question is find sine alpha times cotangent theta. So it's multiplied. Find sine alpha times cotangent theta. Some of you don't have the math packets, it's okay. People who have the math packets, use the math packets. my first question to you guys. How many of you have an answer? And online students, you got to participate, okay? Don't sit there on the other side. You need to participate. So, how many of you have an answer? Some answer. 1, 2, 3. Okay? We have some people have answers. 4. How many are confident your answer is correct? 1. 1.5. Somebody's doing this. Okay. So, in ACT, there are 60 questions, math, 60 minutes. You don't have time to screw up. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. This you can expect around 50 to 55, which is a lot, what we call the tier 3 problems. Tier 3 are the most difficult ones. Tier 1 is the easiest. So as you start with question number 1, which is the easiest, linearly it increases to 60th question. So your job is to maximize the first 20 in very quick time so we can have more time for problems like this. If you don't practice, you're not going to complete the test on time. Plain and simple. This is how it works. All right? So when I'm solving the problem, I don't want you to write. I want you to look at the whiteboard. Then I'm going to give some time for you to write it down. Again, your job is not to write things. Your job is to learn things. Even if you don't write, I'm happy. But you should go here, okay? All right. Sine alpha, sine is defined as opposite or hypotenuse. Angle is, reference angle is alpha. Opposite to alpha is a, or hypotenuse, square root, or a squared plus b squared. Stop me if you have any questions, okay? That's how it works. Standing instructions. Now, cotangent theta. So there are 6 trigonometric functions they have designed. 3 are important: sine, cosine, and tangent. The remaining 3 have done for more of a convenience, but they are not really required. Sounds good? I can run everything as an engineer myself with 3 functions: sine, cosine, tangent. The remaining 3 are kind of, it's good to have, but it's not needed. So those are called derived trigonometric functions, and every trigonometric function is ratio of 2 sides. So to get to cotangent, which is not our normal ones, you have to know its inverse, which is tangent theta. Tangent theta is opposite or adjacent, B or A. So you got to know this. If you know this, cotangent becomes easy because cotangent is inverse of tangent. So it is A or B. So this comes to A squared divided by B times square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, if I'm writing the ACT test question, I would be happy to get to this answer choice. And many of the times they are, okay, this is the final answer. There are 5 multiple choice answers. English, reading, science have 4 multiple choices. Math has 5. But there will be some ACT writers who may make it a little more difficult, which is fine. That's how college is going to be. So because the radical is in the denominator, they try to get rid of the radical in the denominator using conjugate. So the conjugate of square root of a squared plus b squared is square root of a squared plus b squared. So you multiply and divide by the same conjugate so that square root and the square root cancel off, right? So you're left with a squared times square root of a squared plus b squared divided by b times a squared plus b squared, and you can see the square root has disappeared. So if I'm doing this problem, my first goal is to get to this point, check the answers. If it's not there, check this. You should have this either or, not both, for sure. Anybody have any questions on this step?
Yes, I'm a tiny bit confused as to how you got the second answer there, like what you're supposed to multiply that by.
Oh, you mean this one?
Yes.
Okay. So the definition of conjugation is to help you in simplifying the radical which is in the denominator. That's the goal of the conjugation. That's the process. So to get rid of this square root, if I multiply this with another square root and square root will disappear because you're multiplying. So it's like this. Square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4, which is equal to 2.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
That's exactly what you are supposed to ask. If you're not sure, gotta ask. Go ahead and write on this.
Will they ever make you distribute the B?
Very, very, very unlikely.
Okay.
What is the intent of ACT? Is to know whether you know the material, not to torture you in the test. Okay, it has happened once or twice here and there. You know, everybody has their own guilt, but no, usually not. I'll tell you when they do the distribution,
Okay.
not for this concept. When I had a student a few years back, I would say 3-4 years back, this was pre-COVID, he never wrote anything in the class. Literally, just had a notebook, did the problem, but when I told people to write, he never wrote it. I never asked this question to him. At the last day I did ask him, I've never seen you write anything. Not that I'm expecting you to write. In college, nobody writes. They're learning. How did you learn from it? He said, when you post these recorded videos on the WhatsApp or GroupMe, whatever we used to use at the time, I watched the whole thing again and I made notes at that time. So I had to do everything twice, so it helped me remember for longer periods of time. I'm not asking you guys to do the same, but it's a one hint that if you re-watch this again, you'll never forget it afterwards. Good? Did anybody get this or this? 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. 4. Good start. Problem number 2. Same triangle, by the way, okay? Same triangle. Find sine squared theta divided by tangent alpha. So starting now, if you're done with the problem, you just, if you're online, just unmute and say your name. If you're here, just raise your hand so I know who has done it, okay? All right. Standing instruction.
Blake,
Kira.
let's get started. So, sine squared theta. So, just want to make sure people understand there's a difference between sine squared theta and sine theta squared. Okay? So, I want to make sure you understand sine squared theta is not equal to sine theta squared. Okay? This is the angle is squared. Okay? Here the function is squared. And usually I've never seen this, maybe once or twice, not in ACT, but this is what you'll be focused on. Okay? So sine theta, theta is here, sine is opposite or hypotenuse. So b divided by square root of a squared plus b squared, and this entire thing is squared. Function is squared. Divided by tangent alpha. Alpha is here, tangent is opposite or adjacent, A or B. Good? So, maybe you guys already know this, but I'm still going to teach you guys. There's a simple way to simplify fraction divided by fraction. Okay? So if you have a fraction A divided by B divided by C divided by D. Okay? There's a simple way to simplify this. I learned this in 4th grade and I've never forgot after that one. Multiply these two. AD multiply these two divided by BC. Okay? So A divided by B divided by C divided by D, right? So this is B squared and this is B. So I'm going to multiply these two. So it'll be B cubed. You with me? Everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Then I multiply these two. So remember there's a square here. So square root and the square will cancel. A times A squared plus B squared. This is the answer. How many got this answer? 1. Anybody online? Go ahead, Brenna. Ask questions. If you're not sure, ask questions. In ACT, you don't have time. You can do the normal division of, you just don't have time. Shortcuts are going to be very important.
Are you going to teach the advanced class every time?
Sorry?
Are you going to teach the advanced class every time?
So I teach advanced math and science. So Aubrey will be here at 5 o'clock. So she will also be helping me with math. But I teach math and science. Kyle, he'll be teaching ACT English. Lauren, you guys met last week. She'll be doing reading. So everybody has their specialty. Yeah. Yeah, but math and science will be all me. So, and Aubrey will be helping. She's probably the first time I ever hired somebody just to assist me because I used to be, I'm very particular of this math and science. So it took me almost 13 years to finally accept the fact that there's somebody who can match my requirements. So, and she's a high school teacher. So she had, yeah, but I give her a lot of feedback. She's now at a point now I'm more comfortable. Initially I had to kind of mentor her, but yeah, I'm very particular how this should be taught. It should be tough, first of all, but at the end of the day, if you cannot learn, it's waste. Okay. All right, so go to page 4 again. Right in the middle of page 4, there is something called trigonometric relationships. also called trigonometric identities. I want you to read through those formulas. There is 3 plus there is one more. Trigonometric identities and relationships. That's good? Okay. Question number 3. Let me write the whole question first, and then you write the question. I want to make sure this question is actually framed correct. This was in ACT. I believe it was question number 56. Okay? So we'll see. Good to go. Again, the same thing. When you have an answer, tell me your name or raise your hands. So. All right, let's get started. Express cosine theta in terms of sine theta. Now, looking at the identities equations, there is first formula there, sine squared theta. Oh, I need to make sure. Online students, can you see this, or is it too dull?
We can see that.
Plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. This is called the fundamental trigonometric identity. This is same as Pythagorean theorem, a square plus b square is equal to c square. So instead of writing a square plus b square is equal to c square in trig, they use this. Okay? So this is exactly the same as Pythagorean theorem, which many people don't know actually. Okay? Then, so you're solving for cosine theta and the answers look like they have a lot of sine theta, so I'm gonna try it out here. So minus sine squared theta both sides. So cosine squared theta is equal to 1 minus sine squared theta. So this is the function squared, so square root that. So cosine theta is equal to plus or minus 1 minus sine squared theta, which is option C. It's plus or minus is fine, so that's C. But on the trigonometric relationships, there's another formula which is kind of important one. Tan theta is equal to sine theta divided by cosine theta. So you can just flip these two. Cosine theta is equal to sine theta divided by tan theta. So this is D. So both C and D. How many got answer E? 1, 2. Okay, all right. Any questions? Anything you're not sure about? Anything you want me to explain again?
Yes, please. Can you explain how you move from the cosine equals plus or minus the square root to how you move down to the tangent of, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, these two are two different things. So I got to answer C. Of course, many people would have stopped here because I saw this answer choice. But as I saw an answer choice which has tan theta, and there is a relation between sine, cosine, and tangent, so I tried this and made sure that it's also matching. So this is on page 4, there is a formula tangent theta is equal to sine theta divided by cosine theta, and then I just flipped them, simple simplification to get to this.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I picked E, but I'm still confused on C. When you square root the 1 minus sine squared, I'm confused on how that would work. How does? Because I thought in order for it to be a trigonomic relation, it has to be both sides squared, right?
Say it once again.
Like they have to both be squared. So like what I was thinking was, if I'm trying to find cosine, but like why is 1 minus sine squared in a square root? Why is that it? Because if you square rooted both those numbers to equal cosine, how would that?
Okay, so now remember, this is a binomial term, okay? So there's a negative here. If there was no negative like this, then if I had square rooted that one, then it would be 1 times sine theta, okay? So there'll be just sine theta at the term. Because there is a 1 minus, so when I square root it, the square root and the square will cancel. And the square root remains here because I can't further simplify this one because it's a binomial.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jeez. Okay. Really? All right. Go to page 5 of the math packet. read trigonometric inverse. All right, so let's get to that one. Was it question number 4, right? No, we did 3 so far.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason they discovered trigonometric inverse was to find an angle without measuring an angle. Okay? They wanted to find an angle. So for example, if this is your house like this, the roof of the house, right? It's very hard to measure this angle, okay? Which is an important architectural requirement under the state regulations, okay? But it's easy to measure this distance, right? It's easy to measure this distance, right? And then using trigonometric functions and inverse, I can find that angle. So based on where you live, the state regulations change of the angle of the roof. Even in the United States, within the state to state it matters. So if you go to Arizona, they're flat surfaces. The roofs are flats. I was just in Scottsdale over the Christmas break. Oh, it felt weird. You know, it's like, it's just completely flat. It's like somebody has chopped it. Here, everything is an angle because snow falls, it has to, you get the point. So, that's why it's so important to know inverse. And inverse has only one job, to give me an angle as an answer. I'm going to repeat this 3 times today, okay? This is the first time. Now it's the second time. So what's the job of a trigonometric inverse? To give me an what's the job? It's what will help me find?
An angle.
An angle. That's all it does. And how many angles are in a triangle?
3.
3. One of them is a 90 degrees right angle triangle. Okay? So how many are you left with?
2.
Only 2. So it'll give me one of the others. Inverse is so huge in math. Okay? So last time, what does inverse helps you to find?
Angle.
Okay, I'm done 3 times, okay? So, get your calculators. First thing first. Go to mode. Go to mode. Go to third one. And make sure the degrees is highlighted. Make sure the degrees is highlighted. I want you to try it. Go to mode. Go to mode. Go to third one. Radians or degrees. When you walk into ACT test, make sure it's in degrees mode. We had one student so far out of the 6,000 who forgot to change it. He ended up getting a 13 in math because he did everything in radians. I think he had the highest increase for the next test. He ended up getting a 35 next time. Somebody would think that he would cheat it and something. I thought it was weird. 13 to a 35. So he knew it. He knew it as soon as he walked out. He's like, Manoj, I screwed up. And usually my students text or call me, and they're like, I said, what happened? It's like, I did not change into degrees. You know what I told him? Start preparing for next time. So try this problem. Fourth problem. Hey, we don't have time to waste, right? I knew it would happen. It's like, oh, I can't be, you a tissue or what? Cry making fun. He's like, I didn't expect anything more from you. Manoj. It's like, yeah, I can please you if you want. Come home. find angle alpha. The first three problems we did are all in the what we call the high tier 3 problems. This is the tier 2, maybe around question number 40. Okay. If you take more than 30 seconds on this one, we have a problem. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, let's get started. So the first job is to find the trigonometric function. Opposite, adjacent, tangent. Tan alpha is equal to 17.5 inches divided by 49.2 inches. Of course, in the ACT test, you don't want to be that detailed, okay? You want to write, but don't worry with the units, just don't have time for it. But you got to write one step at least. Then the next step should be the answer. Alpha is equal to tangent inverse of 17.5 divided by 49.2. So this is called inverse tangent or arc tangent. Either one is fine. Tell me the answer.
Shouldn't the numbers be flipped?
I'm sorry. You gotta say this.
We're just letting you do your thing.
I would be pretty mad after 10 minutes. Like you guys, Manoj, you should have flipped it. I'm like, this has happened last fall. Was like first few days. Like even sometimes I made a mistake purposely, and they're like, I just made a mistake. Just want you guys to know. You should have told me that. So. Actually, funniest thing is, if you had not told me, the answer would tell me my answer would be wrong, because look at this, it's more acute than this one, right? Mm-hmm. So I would be expecting this to be more than 45, so I would have told that something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me, it has to be more than 45.
70.42 degrees.
70 degrees. Nobody, in ACT, they don't care about decimals, okay, something like that. So, this is the beauty of it. There's a learning moment here. So if you continued and you got, let's say, 20 degrees, I would say this is wrong. Because I could see that this angle is more acute than this one. So I can immediately say, oh, there's something wrong. And I do this till today. When somebody sends me a problem, I kind of get a visualization of the answer in geometry. Like, okay, does this make sense to me? Do I have a pictorial okay with that? Not for a problem like this, you can't do anything about it, but this easily. Make sense? Okay, good. Question number 5. This is question number 60 in the ACT. Okay, so I'm gonna write the whole thing, then you can do it. Okay, so whoever gets this correct will get a candy from me. Okay,
Sweet.
On Halloween day.
Oh my gosh. I'll still
Alright.
be around, so it's okay.
Yeah. There's some life advice I want to give you guys. Never decide by the looks of the problem. Okay? Go with your basics. So if you're playing a sport, let's say there's a game going on, never look at the size or the talent of the other team and decide how you're gonna respond. Respond based on what you know. Okay? That's all you can do. So stick to your guns, stick to your basics. All right, let's get started. So we have a couple of people who have the answers. Okay. Fundamentals of mathematics is called the inside-out method. That's the fundamentals of math. Doesn't matter what way, pre-calc, calc, algebra, doesn't matter. That means you always start from inside and then you go outside. Okay? Called the radial or the inside-out method. So, I'm going to start with this one. In a right angle triangle, there are 3 angles, and one of them is at 90 degrees, right? So I left it 2. So we have an inside one, sine inverse here. So what is the goal of an inverse? What does it do?
Find an angle.
Find an angle. And how many angles are there? 3. One of them is at 90, so you're left with 2. So the result of this entire thing is an angle. Okay? It can be angle A or angle B. C is 90 degrees. So how is sine defined as? Sine is defined as opposite or hypotenuse, right? So which angle has an opposite to A? Angle A. So this entire thing comes out to secant A. Am I right? Okay. Now secant is not the normal 3 functions, right? So you got to know the extended trigonometric functions. So that is cosine A. cosine A is, I don't want to make the same mistake as you. A cosine is adjacent or hypotenuse. So B or square root of A squared plus B squared. So secant will be inverted. So it will be square root of A squared plus B squared divided by B, and this entire thing is squared. So it will be A squared plus B squared divided by B squared. So this is what I would expect in the answer choice, but they may simplify this a little bit because there's a B squared common here. So it'll be A squared divided by B squared plus 1. They might. You with me on this? They might. I'm happy with this one. How many got this? 1, 2, 3. Good. Last time nobody got this problem right. Yes.
I have a question as well. How did you get the plus one? Like.
Oh,
if you-
here, from here?
Yeah.
Well, let's just distributed the B squared denominator to each individual terms. So you guys get chocolates or candies on Halloween day, so make sure to come to my house.
I'll find you.
Yeah.
We'll do this. Give me candy.
I think you have your old address on here.
That's why I gave the wrong address. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I need
The
to.
address you have down is our math teacher.
Yeah, they bought my house. He bought my house, so yeah.
Dude, yeah,
Now I
it
know
is.
where
That's
Jeff
crazy.
is.
Jeffrey's house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where he bought. I didn't know him, but somebody told me it. Like, good. It was good vibes. I used to teach in that house for 5 years. So this what happened. All these students was in my basement, and students who have gone through that one, they don't like this. They're like, yeah, this is boring. I had snacks. We had everything there. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, they used to watch TV. It's like part of my home actually. Because my wife told me to get the hell out. So you guys good?
Yeah.
Any questions? All right. You guys will have 5 minutes break. No phones, by the way. No more phones allowed. And you guys want to use restroom? It's down the hallway. At the end of the hallway, there's on the left is a restrooms. And Aubrey will be here, and she'll continue with a different topic in math. All right? All right. So online students, don't leave. Don't go anywhere. She'll just continue from here. Okay? See you guys later. Nice seeing you, and welcome again.